How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Today we are going to continue on with Operation Death. Now, something I do need to say is it's not going to be the mothership today. I have done everything possible to get that video done in the past few weeks, and I've come up with quite a few problems. So we're going to gloss past it, and in fact we're going to go up to Minmus with a satellite first and map out the entire moon, because I want to find a better place to extract ore from. And honestly, I don't like where the base is currently. It's kind of on a hill, which is really annoying. So I'm probably going to try and maneuver it. And what I want to do is maneuver it into a place that's got a high yield of ore. So like the best place to mine ore. So we're going to have to send up a satellite to collect that data. And then we're going to launch something that I want to make for the mothership that's going to go inside it. Basically, a giant VTOL crane that will basically be our main workhorse for when we're on planets. It will be the thing that can move different parts of bases, vehicles, or any sort of crap that I end up sending up there. So hopefully this will work. I'm not entirely sure, and I'm a bit worried, but let's get into this and try and make this happen, I guess. Alright, so to start off with, we're not going to build the crane. This bit will only take like a couple of minutes, hopefully, but I want to send a satellite up. Now, the reason I want to send a satellite all the way to Minmus and hover around Minmus is because I always forgot that this game has sort of the ore system in this game to collect ore is more concentrated in certain areas, like biomes or whatever. Now, I don't know if that's perfectly right for Minmus. I'm still a bit shaky with how that works. But basically, if I send a satellite up to Minmus, I might be able to circle around Minmus with it and find a better place to mine ore where I'll actually get more out, like get more for your money sort of thing. Well, not necessarily more for your money, but more for your electricity. Now, I'm not exactly sure what one I need, but I know I need a scanner to attach to the satellite to actually survey the moon and actually get the data I need. This is what I want. There are different ones you can use, but I mean, I did a quick Wikipedia search and then found out that this is the thing I want. So I deploy the scanner when I'm around Minmus, and then I can transmit the data, which is cool. At least I think that's how it works. I hope I'm right on that. Okay, so we got the satellite. We've done that. We're going to attach these to a Action Group 2, and then we're going to attach a giant rocket to it, send it up, send it to Minmus, have it go around, survey the ground, and then build our Barge VTOL crane thing to then move the base into the new location this finds. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I've also got a texture pack mod installed that's got kind of a lot of different textures, so you'll notice that some things look completely different, including these strut legs. Unless this is an update to the game that I don't know anything about. I don't know. They kind of look like it, but they look a bit too awesome to be stock, if you know what I mean. But also, like, the nose cones of these, normally, like, the tips of these things are blue, but they're not in this texture pack, they're grey, and a bunch of things have slightly different colour changes, and, I mean, it kind of makes things look kind of cool, especially if these are actually from the mod. These look so much better than the original ones, they look so cool. But anyway, I think we're about ready to take this thing into space, so we're going to go out onto the launch pad and hopefully not blow up in a tremendous fashion like I always do. Alright, so here we go. Space Dong, Flight 1, in 3, 2, go. Oh my god, whoa! That is really bloody fast. Oh Jesus. Why are we going in this direction? I don't want to go in this direction. Oh my god, it is literally fighting me right now. Why is it fighting me? Go up! Okay, I think I've got too much thrust on this thing. I've got way too much thrust! Slow down. Oh, thank you. Okay, break away. Yeah, see, look, I even got sophisticated with one of those things. Oh no. Why are you pointing downwards? I don't know what I've done. Why are you pointing at the ground? Hang on. Oh, wait. Here we go. It's righting itself. Is it because it's falling? No, it's still going up. I am a failure. So I've made a few changes, and hopefully it will fly properly now. What? Stop doing that! Oh, it's because it hits the stupid thing. Yeah, that makes sense. Get away from here. Yes! I'm going too fast to turn right now. Way too fast to turn. That's it. Do the classic pirouette flip thing. That's it. Do it. Go. No, not down. Burn in that direction. That's it. There. That. Go. That way. Yes. Okay. We're good. And poof. Poof. Okay, we've still got a little bit more fuel, and we're in orbit. Yeah! Alright. Now, we need to find Minmus. Oh, Jesus, that's son. Minmus, where are you? This is the quickest I've ever gone to a planet on this game, I think. Alright, so sometime later, I would have thought I would skip past all this, because we've done it so many times, and with a satellite, it's not very exciting. But, I've put the thing in orbit, and now we're ready to make the polar orbit, which is what you would do with a satellite like this to scan the entire planet, because obviously as it spins, it will then go around it and orbit it, and so it means you don't have to move it or anything. I'm only saying that because I only learned that a few days ago, which I'm kind of happy to have learned. And look at that, we're in like an almost perfectly 90-degree orbit. That is one of the best orbit jobs I've ever done, and that's not a euphemism. Okay, so we're now pointing at Minmus. We want to deploy the scanner, and actually no, we want to do the antennas as well. Deploy the antennas, and then perform orbital survey. There we go. Okay, so now it's actually performing the scan, and then once it performs it, we'll then go back to the Space Center, and we'll look at it from there. I can look at it from here by toggling an overlay, but you don't sort of get like a whole overview. So we'll go back to Space Center and do it with that. Okay, so now we're in the tracking station. We can have a look at the gumball version of Minmus, because this is Minmus, but it looks so cool. It just looks tasty. But yeah, no, basically, what we're focusing on is this little tab, which you can only get this information after you've done a survey like I've just done. And basically, we've got two different ores that we can choose from, and that will depend on what mod you got installed. And we have a maximum yield of 5.5 of metal ore and 4.1 of normal ore. Now, depending on the colour, depends on how much of this you're actually going to get. So, the more red it is, I'm assuming the better it is. And right off the bat, we've got a red area here. So let's go with the cutoff. And the higher the cutoff, the stronger the yields, pretty much. See, there's a big red section here. So this is where I will be able to get the full 4.1. But I don't particularly want to go that far, so that's a much better one. We've got a bit of orange up here, but I don't know. What about this one? Ah, you see, now this is red here, but green up here. Okay, so probably we want to aim for about here, because there's actually some flat area here, because this is a lake bed, right there and there. So if anything, we want to sort of put it right up against the edge of these shorelines. And that should be a good place for the base. That should be a good place for us to be able to collect the two different ores, if these are in fact two different ores. Because I've never seen metal ore before, but maybe it is. I don't know, but basically that's where we're going to go for. We're going to aim for these two giant lake beds here. So basically what we're going to do now is head back to the space plane hangar and build ourselves the giant crane that's actually going to move this base over here. Alrighty, so here we go. Time to build something I've wanted to build ever since I thought of the mothership idea. Like, I wanted this thing as well, which is basically just a giant platform that you can then lay stuff on top of, or winch it up, and then it hovers there. It's going to be like a VTOL system, but I have this mod installed, which is it's throttle controlled avionics, which basically means it's a mod that changes the thrust limit of engines on the fly to keep everything level. So when I pick something up off the ground and lift it up, it will then adjust everything to make sure it stays level. So it means I can focus on picking things up and not flying this stupid thing and trying to keep it level. It means that the computer will do that for me, which realistically is what it would do in real life, so we should be alright with that. Okay, so because this thing is going to be basically like a space barge, I want to have it so it's got like a hole in the middle, and then it has like the Infernal Robotics gantry rail things, which are basically rails that slide back from side to side, I think. This better be what they are. I'm pretty sure this is what they are. Yeah. So basically I can attach like a crane arm to this with a winch on it, and then sort of move it around on the barge and like arrange things. Because moving that base with that stupid rover is not going to happen on Minmus, because the bloody Minmus gravity is too low. So using these sort of things should give us more of an edge. Jesus, Speedy Gonzales. Alright, so I've just had an idea. I only have to build one of these sections, because obviously then I can just copy it over and put it on the back. That looks kind of cool in the shadow. Just saying. Alright, so I'm going to build the giant railing thing that goes along the top now, and I'm going to use, obviously, these. So I'm going to add these ones at the bottom, if it'll let me. Oh, look at that. This thing looks so much better now, just by adding these two little triangle things on each end, and then some giant air scoops. These air scoops are actually really, really nice. Like, these ones are from, they're from Lackluster Labs. That's one of the newest mods I've installed. Same as these giant triangles, which are basically giant batteries. So this thing is literally going to be a giant mobile battery. But the cool thing is with the air intakes is that means that I might be able to use different engines. Because then it will mean that I won't have to use the oxidizer, which means that this won't run out of fuel as quickly. Maybe. Okay, so I've kind of skipped ahead a little bit, because, I mean, I was only building one side of this thing, and I was just going to copy it to the other side. But I have turned this now, all in to one part. So now this is a single piece, and I kind of like it. It kind of looks cool. It kind of reminds me of a stage. Sort of like what a band would play on. I don't know why. Mainly just because of these sort of trusses I've got going along it. But this is where the main like rails are going to go. Where we can sort of maneuver things coming up through this hole and move them over onto one side. These antennas are clearly just here for decoration. Now you may notice that I've left gaps between these little things here. Now that was so I could add landing legs to this thing. I don't know where they are. I mean, where they probably always are. I'll just type it in. Let's just make things simpler on myself, shall we? Can't even spell legs correctly. These ones. I can put these in here. So if I size these up, sort of around there, and then if I lift these up a bit, look at that! So I have like little integrated legs that can scoop up inside. Oh, but they don't work perfectly. I wish they would be flush with that, but that's a minor detail. We can deal with that. So I can add 4 landing legs on each end of this thing, and hopefully, because of the way these landing legs are designed, it won't break under its own pressure. So now I need a command pod, because I didn't put a command pod on, and I have a ton to choose from, and I'm not exactly sure what one I want to use. Oh yes, now that just makes this thing look a hell of a lot cooler. That looks so awesome! Hang on, can I make this? I can't make it bigger. I don't know how big I'm going to want it. Hang on, I've got like a little box thing down here, so if I ended up with Kerbals walking around, they don't fall off and then get sucked up into here. Not that they can, but, you know, I added a little bit of realism to this thing. Even though, realistically, it would be a pain in the arse to get this thing off the ground in real life. Which I imagine it's going to be the same in this. Look at that! Oh, I like this a hell of a lot better already. Alright, so sometime later, I have this. Now, you'll notice that all of these little tiny ports, they're all RCS ports. They're literally everywhere. Just because I want this thing to be able to hover. And obviously, to keep it hovering correctly, RCS is going to be quite important for that. And these don't use monopropellant, so actually having a monopropellant tank is kind of useless. So I've kept a little bit in there, just in case if we want to refuel something, then we can take that up with us. Oh, and I've also got like a little command pod back here. It takes ages to move the camera, by the way. I've got a little command pod here. And this is going to be like for the operator of the crane. Like he can sit here and overlook what's going on like from here. So I could like be in the IVA seat and look at that. And oh yeah, and these are all the grabbers. I've used actual grabbing things this time instead of docking ports because I imagine these are going to be a hell of a lot more useful. Because they just sort of clamp onto it. They don't need a docking port or anything. Which is a lot more useful, and I believe something that someone actually suggested to me for the crane arm on the rover. So yeah, and now I think what we do is we focus on the actual crane arm, because if anything that's the most important bit, and I've actually yet to get around to doing it. Alright, so I've basically just added 2 gantry rails on this thing, sort of perpendicular to each other, and that's sort of making up our crane arm. It's kind of like one of those grabby things, like those grabby toy game things. And I just looked at this, the grappling hook, and it says that this will work if it collides with something fast enough. So when I used it on Minmus that time, the reason it didn't work was the gravity's so low it doesn't fall fast enough. So I was going to use it on this, and now I've kind of realised that that's not going to work, just like it didn't with the rover. But now it is a matter of taking it out and seeing if I can actually get this thing to work. Okay, so I've set everything up. And now it is time to actually test whether I can actually pick things up and do what I want to do with this thing, or it needs to spend another 6 hours being worked on to actually work. But basically, I've got a little grabber up here now. I thought at the last minute it would be a good idea to add a grabber here, because then it wouldn't sort of swing around on the electromagnet. It would then sort of clamp onto this And then I can move it around easily without the risk of it perhaps falling off. Okay, now magnetize. Yes, okay, we got it. And then if we bring him up, and look at this. Why I'm singing the... I think that's Indiana Jones. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm just going to bring it all the way to this back one, just because this one's the least difficult to get to. And it basically stops right above it. Look at that. And then if we go here and disengage this. Alright, and then we go down. And this should now clamp hold of this. And then we're ready to move it. Please grab hold of it. You gonna grab hold of it? It's not got hold of it. Yes, there we go. Ta-da! And then we disengage the magnet. Retract that all the way back up. And then tell these things to return to their default position. And there we go. Oh my god, I can't believe this thing worked. I did not expect it to work first time. Alright, so now it's a matter of attaching this thing to a giant rocket and getting it to Minmus. Oh boy. Okay, so I've built this thing an engine, and it will hopefully get it to Minmus. I think I'm just going to have skipped past it, just because it was just a lot of block building stuff. So it's nothing all that interesting, but this should make it. Oh god! That's laggy! Are we going? No, we're not really. Go, go, go! The center engines don't fire yet. We fire those to get to Minmus. This is by far the biggest thing I think I've ever launched so far. But obviously the mothership's going to beat that by a massive margin. Come on. You've got this. Okay, good. We're about to have the booster separation. Hope it goes well. And... eject. Oh my god. That's broken the game. Nope, there we go. They've separated. And then fire these. Go, 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 go. I'm so scared and worried. Oh! Oh my god! Oops. What was that? What? I heard an engine give out. What? Okay, no, 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 we're good. Okay, these have a ton... We're probably going to make it. Because again, the center column actually hasn't used any fuel yet. As we can see. Well, no, it is... Oh, it's using a bit because of the RCS, but that's about it. Because the RCS uses oxidizer and stuff. I can't believe I might actually make this. I was joking, honestly. Okay, when these run out of fuel, we're going to begin the circularization thing. Now, I don't know what mode these are on. These are on closed cycle. Yeah, that's probably a good idea for now. There we go. Eject. It breaks the game every time I do that. That's it. And they've jettisoned. Go. Okay, we've done it. We're in orbit. Oh, God. No, 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 no. Don't do that yet. Okay, we're up. We're up, we're up, we're up. I cannot believe I might be on this. I know I don't really need to do this, because all we have to do is burn prograde, but... for peace of mind, because I don't want to do that laggy trip again, we're going to do it. I want that to go higher. Hurry up. Okay. We are just about in orbit. And it seems that we have about 1,000 Delta V left on this version. So if I swap the engine's mode... then we have 2,700, because this mode uses electricity as well as fuel. And we might be able to make it. Oh dear god. Right, so just to change this to get into the same plane as this, it's going to take ages. If we can make it there, and this thing still has some fuel in it, I'm going to do everything I can to actually land this entire thing on Minmus. Because then I can use this as like a makeshift fuel tank. So when the mining excavators and what have you get more fuel and fill up their tanks, they can drive over to this thing and then fill this thing up. And this could be like my giant fuel silo sort of thing. Okay, this is the last really long burn we've got to do. A 255. And we're going to make it! We are going to... Now it's just a matter of making it in one piece. That is now what we need to worry about. Whether we're going to be able to keep this thing together. If push comes to shove... I won't keep this. So if we end up in a bit of trouble, I'll just detach it and we'll just have to have that as a loss. Alright, so we're in a really low orbit of Minmus. And, in fact, by some miracle, we are on the same plane as the base. So if anything, I can actually get ready to land. Now, we wanted to land here. because I remember looking at the map, it wasn't that far we had to travel to get a good yield of metal, and that was it, weren't it? Metal and ore, that was it. It was just here, these two lakes, and it was right up against the shoreline here and here. So this is where we're aiming. So if anything, I'm going to land this there with the fuel tank thing, so I don't have to move it later. So I'll land that there now, and then we can come back and go and grab the other stuff. Okay, we can't warp any faster than 1 times now, because we're so close to the surface. This is so cool to watch this. Just like slowly coming to land over the lake that we're going to be setting our base on. And like I could have like the mothership here, which is going to end up being like that big. It's huge, this thing. When I'll finally show you it, I'm going to be so happy if it works, because it is enormous. Okay, so burn, burn, burn. We do not want to crash into the ground. If I don't talk much in the next 30 seconds, it's because I am really concentrating. Okay. Okay. Alright, now I need to activate these engines. Ready for... Whoa, that sounded cool. These are now... We're going to be going into VTOL mode, but obviously I am going to burn these engines too. If anything, they're acting against each other right now. I didn't think about that. Oh! Oh dear God, please stop! Oh! Oh my God. Okay, now it's just going to wibble about for a few seconds. Hopefully it'll fix. Go that way. Okay, are we good? I think we might be good. We have made it. How the hell did... I can't believe I've done that. I am so hideously incompetent at this game. And to have made it is a massive achievement for me. With this intact. Okay, how much of this fuel have I used? Let's transfer some of the fuel. I'm so happy I've managed to do that. Now, I can't detach this yet, because currently this thing is being controlled by a remote unit here. It's not actually being controlled by this, which is kind of stupid because I didn't bring up any Kerbals. Yeah, that's kind of dumb of me. But we're going to swap over to the guys at the base now and bring one of them over here, so we can then get ourselves on board. Okay, so we got Valentina selected. Valentina, make your way to the Hog, which is 16 kilometers away. Oh, Jesus, this is going to... Actually, it probably won't take a while, because this will actually pick up speed, so we should be alright. Oh, God. Oh, that's the edge. Okay, I am not going... I'm not going to gun it off the edge, because we know that's just going to break the rover. If anything, the rover's already kind of broken. Look at this. All the arms are sort of skew-whiff. Why? I mean, it still works, but... Oh, Jesus! I specifically said I didn't want to do that! Uh-oh. We're dead. Please don't break! Oh! Okay, we're okay. Oh! No, we're fine! We're fine, that was just a docking port. We can live without. Please slow down! Oh, dear God. That is huge! Oh my God. Okay. This thing is massive compared to Valentina. Okay, I need to start slowing down. Slow down, please. We'll drift past it. Please! Stop! Valentina, stop your stupid thing now, you speedy... Okay, we're actually small enough to go underneath it. Oh! Okay, we're good. No, stop slipping. I've got the traction control, like, quite far up. Well, actually, it's kind of in the middle, but... Look at the size of this beast. Okay, so we're going to go into the hatch, which is actually over here. And we go in here. Then we can get inside and transfer into one of the pods. Should be good. And grab. And board. And we're in! Okay, so now we've got Valentina inside, it is now time to separate. It's time to actually detach this from the other part. I do have a problem currently where if I go into the IVA, I can't see diddly squat out of the windscreen, which is kind of a problem, but hopefully I'll be able to fix that issue later. We're going to thrust up a little bit, separate, And that's it. We're now alone. Yeah, look at that. Now we're free. Alright, so let's put this thing down just over, like, next to this thing, just so I can set up the whole throttle-controlled avionics mod thing to fly it for us. Hopefully, this won't go horribly wrong. We're going to want a hover mode on, and we're currently at 7, and obviously it can't go lower than that. So if we go up to about, I don't know, let's say 60. And then we'll ask it to kill rotation and enable. And as you can see, these will go mad with the thrust to keep it at whatever level you asked it. So it's now going to make its way up to 60 meters, and then it will do everything by cutting the engines and slowing them down. So it doesn't, as you can see, it's sort of fluctuating on all of these engines. All of the engines will now fluctuate to keep it hovering and not falling out of the sky. Well, not really falling out of the sky because there's no atmosphere, but you know what I mean. So now we can hover here gracefully, and we're not even doing anything. So we can just sit here now for ages until the fuel runs out, which, how much is it using? 16! It's only using 16 fuel a second, which is nothing, but I do need to get a move on before it uses more. So if we put this down here, and then we can activate, these engines are controlled manually by me, by setting an engine group, and then putting that in the engine profiles. Or was it the engine? No, show manual engines. So basically I've told these ones I want manual control, whereas these ones are thrust and maneuver, which means that these ones won't be controlled by this, or like the AI, as it were. So now, I can activate these engines, and we'll go forward. Okay, so sometime after wrestling with the controls later, I've managed to get it into a path that's coming up on the hab, which is cool. So I'm actually going to drop its altitude by 50. So let it do that, because as you can see, it's still quite high up. Look at the size of the shadow this thing casts. This thing monsters the base. Like, this little tiny hab is nothing compared to the size of this thing. Oh god, are we going to hit the floor? No. Okay, I think I set that just about right. And obviously you'll realise that we're pointing in the wrong direction because, well, I need to slow down and I've got these thrusters here. I do want to plant it down on the ground though. That is something I do want to do. Because I'm pretty glad I added the wheels now, because if I didn't, I imagine this would be very, very difficult. Oh yes. Oh yes, look at that. That is graceful. Valentina? You are a star, my friend. Yes, look at that. We are down. Oh yes. Alright, so now what I'm going to want to do is actually drop these legs and then have it roll around on the wheels. So we're going to roll it up over the base, and then we're going to pick it up from there. I need to be very careful that I do not crash this into it, because that would be pretty bad. And stop. Oh god, please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Okay. That was a bit too close for comfort. Okay, something I forgot to do before we put this thing over the hull. What we need to do is move Valentina into the crane operating place, which is here. This little cabin here is the one where you sit and control the crane from. So if we then go into the... Please work with the IVA. Oh god. There we go. Alright, so if we go into the internal view... Stop it! Stop beeping! Okay, we're good. Alright, so... Turn the lights on so I can actually see. And then if we go into the camera utilities and go into the external, this is a camera that is mounted to that. You can see it right there, that little white bit there. So that is the camera that we've got mounted to it. Now if I press 4, I believe, the action group 4, you see this wire drop out. Now these are guide lights. So I now know exactly, because as you can see, that there is the magnet. So we now know exactly where the magnet is. So I can then drive this thing over, and as long as it's directly below that blue dot, I know it's perfectly centered inside this thing. Please stop, please stop, please stop, stop! Yeah, that's where we want it. We want it almost perfectly there, because obviously this bit's going to bolster the weight up a little bit. Okay, so now we're ready to drop the magnet. I am going to save it. If this works, I am going to be so amazed. Come on, magnet, you've got this. Please attach and don't be a pain in the butt like you were on the other one. Okay, we've got it. We've got hold of it. I think we are ready to pull this up. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is activate all the grabbers, which are then going to bring out their little things. So then we'll be able to move this thing into position. Now the thing is, if I stop the winching right now, the magnet tends to snap off. Like, it loses connection. So I'm hoping... No! No! Damn you! Okay, so this might take absolutely ages, but I'm trying a new approach. I am bringing it up with the winch reeling in really slowly, so it doesn't jerk around as much. And as you can see, it's a much smoother way of moving it up. That's only going to have to happen on Minmus. Again, it's because of this bloody moon's stupid gravity. Alright. So I believe we're now ready to actually move this thing. So let's try and put it over... Where do we go? Do we go forward or back? Forward? No, back. Back. Let's bring it back. Oh god, I don't know what number's back. Let's just go full speed. Full speed! Ah! I'm so scared. Yes, let's bring it all the way back. Activate the grabbers. And put it on the back one. Okay, okay, I've released it. I've released it. Boom! Yes! We've caught on. When it's now attached. It wasn't the most graceful thing in the world, but we are now attached. So let's bring these back to the center. And then I believe we're ready to move this. We can move it into a new location. Or we can bring up some new stuff. However, I don't think there's anything else to bring up. I mean, I guess we could bring up these extra engines, but I don't really think they're worth it. No, we'll gloss over those. Screw it. Alright, so here we go. We're on the move. A lot of this is a lot of faffing around with the buttons, because this thing's trying to stabilize the craft. So obviously then to let me take a bit of manual control. But it can't really do that when this thing keeps bobbing around. You'll see that this is basically what it's trying to do right now. This is basically sort of the... what this mod is trying to achieve right now. So right now all it's doing is maintaining altitude. That's basically all it's doing, which it is doing exactly. And I am sort of manually pissing about with these engines with this control here. If I do that, you can see these back engines come on. Which obviously is what we want to do, because we want to go down to here. And I want to drop our descent by a lot. It's going to go red because it realises it can't do that. Because obviously that's under the terrain. But eventually, it will realise that it's not, and it will allow me to. But obviously right now, it's just going to slowly hover along. It is so cool to see that this thing works. Like, I'm kind of amazed, because this thing weighs like 1,000 tons, and it realistically doesn't feel like it weighs more than 2 tons. It's so cool. I mean, I am on Minmus, so that's probably what explains it, but I love it. I mean, I don't know what it's going to be like flying the mothership when I finally get that over here, because that thing's like, I don't know, 15,000 tons, if not bigger, and then it's like 2 kilometers long. Bringing it down, bringing it down. Boom. Oh yes, and we're down. Now it's time to stop SAS and just let it do its thing. Alright, so we're going to do stuff from in here. So if we now bring the arm backwards towards us. Is that towards us? Yeah, that is towards us. Bring this all the way back. Look at that. See it come into view. I'm so proud of this thing. I really am. You just hear me pressing the buttons. Because the bloody action group buttons are the same as the buttons to control this thing. Basically, all I have to do is return these to their default position, which I can do just by pressing this. Oh, it snapped. No! Uh-oh. Damn it, Magnet! Why can't you be more powerful? Yes, 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 yes. And... slow it down. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, that's fine. Don't worry. Break off. Pop. Dop. Diddly-do. We're done. Yeah! We've done it! We have successfully moved the base. That took way longer than it should have. But it is the first time I'm trying this thing, so I didn't expect it to be exceptionally quick. Ta-da! I am so happy that this has worked. I'm more surprised of the fact that I even got it here. That was, in my mind, the real challenge, because everything else was sort of done by this beautiful little thing. But then again, it has been a bit of a doozy to try and get things in the right positions. So if I just drop this here for now, we'll go over to get Jeb and bring the mining drill over, and then I believe we're done for today. Alright, so we're coming down onto the lake bed. Now, I've sort of put this... I'm going to put the mining excavators and stuff further away from where all the habitat stuff is. So it sort of encourages a bit of movement, as well as it makes space for other stuff. As I say, I know this is a lot of space, but it keeps things sort of all neat and tidy, I guess. Oh, yes. And we're down. Woo! Alright, so we have done it. It's taken about 3.5 hours, but I've finally moved everything. I mean, that was since I set off from launching the hog. It's been about 3 hours, yeah. That's how much time I've spent ballsing about and breaking things. But it's been good. It's been good. Come on, Jeb, let's get out. Let's go to the hab. And let's go spend some time with the other Kerbals before the big ship arrives. I can't wait for it. It's going to be so cool. So there we have it, everyone. I believe I'm going to leave this episode of Operation Death here. It has been a very long day doing this indeed, but I know that the mothership was something that everyone's looking forward to. It is on its way. It's much closer to completion than you think. It is actually very, very close to completion, but I do need to fix some of these gremlins that it has, and honestly, I just need a little bit more time with it. I know it's been a while since I did the previous one, but I'm hoping to get it done very, very soon indeed, because again, these gremlins are small things, but things that do need fixing. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys soon. Stay tuned, stay awesome, goodbye.